Millions of dogs nationwide die every year due to neglect and overcrowding.
While dogs are often called man's best friend, hundreds, even thousands here in the Wabash Valley, more accurately, are the forgotten friends. News 10's Amanda Jarrett explains in a special report, The Underdogs.
They're dumped, neglected, and forgotten. Dozens of dogs are dropped off daily at the Terre Haute Humane Society. They're constantly overcrowded, so what happens to these seemingly throwaway pets? We take an in-depth look at some of their stories. This is Bruce. Trembling and whimpering, a forgotten friend. Bruce's owner left him in the front yard of the shelter. No explanation, no reason. Just a simple message written on his collar. Please take care of me. Bruce is an underdog. But he's not the only one. A few kennels down, another sad story. Animal control brought in this German Shepherd couple, Sheldon and Sable. Sheldon can hardly stand, diseased and neglected.
It breaks my heart. Emaciated very bad. They're probably a good 40 pounds underweight.
Now it's the shelter's responsibility to make them adoptable.
We'll do the best we can, care for them and so forth. They're very loving dogs.
The shelter decides Sheldon needs an emergency vet visit, or he may not make it.
Or here's a tether if you want it.
It makes you want to do the same thing to the person that brought him in, to the owners.
Another day, another dog. 37 kennels, all filled.
It amazes me that the population after 30 years is no different. It still is just influx every day.
Sherry knows everyone's name and everyone's story.
This is Dart. He's been here forever.
Dart's in dire need of a home.
Can't seem to find a home.
No, and I don't know why.
The shelter doesn't have the space to keep him for much longer. Much like Sophie, she's been at the shelter too long without any hope for adoption. And while they're a low-kill shelter trying to avoid euthanization, it's the cold reality for some of these castaway canines.
Weighs very heavy on your heart and soul.
Deserted Dart sits and waits, hoping for a home, much like Radar, abandoned in a hotel room, hoping for a family who won't check out. But behind the sad looks and scared dogs, a surprise. A couple left at the shelter becomes a family of 5 overnight. And while many do find homes, like this playful puppy, there are plenty of stories like Dart, Sheldon, and Bruce. Abused, abandoned, dumped, and diseased. Forgotten, waiting for a forever family. Some of these dogs will find a home, some may never leave the shelter, and some never had a real chance. Despite the efforts of the dedicated workers at the shelter, there's just so many homeless pets and not enough loving homes. Join us for part 2 of The Underdogs as we show you what happens to these forgotten friends.
If you'd like to find out how you can help the Humane Shelter, log on to our website, WTHI-TV.com.
We'll have